And so we're back again for our second hour. The time now is 7 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock, and today is the 13th day of October in the year 2012. Our telephone number here is 524-1080 should you wish to join in our conversation. In the last hour, we talked about a number of things. What did we first start out with? It was supposed to be the DVR luncheon that I attended, and the idea of disability. Is this disability really a statement of reality in fact, or is it merely reality by agreement? And how I believe that disabilities, or the physical disabilities as well as mental or intellectual disabilities, are more appropriately called challenges rather than disabilities, and in that way you avoid the stigma, because looking at so many people who have been very successful in overcoming what others have called disabilities, and they have been able to stand firm and be very successful. So these are merely challenges. They are reality by agreement of those who engage in the use of that term, rather than what I call the realities in fact. So I spoke about that. We also talked about drone planes and the background of what drones were all about. And then finally we closed with a discussion of the U.S. Special Agent Mr. Didi shooting Elder Collins, a local man in Waikiki, and killing him, and now being charged for murder. And some disclosure of what really occurred based on the transcript of the, the grand jury that was disclosed by Brooke Hart. Okay, so getting into that discussion, if you would like to call and share an opinion, again, the telephone number is 524-1080. What has been coming across my attention also is the debates between the presidential candidates and the vice presidential candidates. But it appears, based on 2 telephone calls coming in right now, that we'll spend a little bit more time on the issues that I've just discussed. We'll go to our first caller, the second caller has now hung up, so let's go to our first caller. Aloha caller, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Yes, hello, you're on the air.
Thank you. Hey, I agree with a lot of stuff you say, but what is disturbing is you have these vocalized pauses in your when you talk, and it's very kind of distracting. It's probably about 10 or 12 as you per minute. So if you could just kind of pause and not say anything, that probably would be less distracting. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll review this tape and see if I can control that. Thank you very much. If you would like to call and share an opinion, give me a call at 524-1080. And you can also, and there you go, a vocalized pause. You can also share your views or your comments on my vocalization, my pausing. Now, moving on to the discussion of the presidential or vice presidential debate. There you go. Now I'm going to have this tick about all these things. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Aloha caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, aloha.
Yes. Oi, aloha.
How are you, brother?
I'm fine.
Filippo over here.
Yes. Hi, Filippo.
Oh, yeah. You get too many ahs and all that, you know. And the guys, some people fall asleep.
All right.
But the thing is not what is being said, not how it's said. As far as I'm concerned, brother, you are Shakespeare.
Okay, to each his own, I guess.
I wanted to get in before you get into the old fellas of life, yeah?
Yes, and that's why I wanted to give people the opportunity to call, because once I start on it, then...
Brother Iz's song that that opened your second hour. I wanted to share. I had one of the most fantastic opportunities a number of years ago at Waimano Home, and I was a participant in helping a luau that we put up with Queen Emma Leong, who is Queen Emma is a Wailama family, yeah.
Okay.
And she married to Brother Rex Leong, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, both of them have passed on. And she was with Waimano Home. Every year she would do a program on Mother's Day. This particular year that I got involved, the Makaha sons, Skippy, Israel, and the Potpourri and all that, all the young guys. They were our young guys back then. Yeah. They joined in with they provided the music.
Okay.
And well, how this program was based on, it was like an Aloha Week pageant. And all of the patients of Waimano Home represented each of the 8 islands. And they all had a prince and a princess here. Just like a Kamehameha Day program, a parade,
Yes.
But this was everybody walking, of course, and these were all the patients of Waimano Home. And of course, the audience were basically the parents or family members of all of these patients that lived in Waimano Home. This was in the mid-1960s, and there wasn't a dry eye or nose in the audience for hours. When you played that song, I broke up again, brother. And I remember that day when Brother Iz and his brothers, and now of course John and has gone also. I just wanted to let you know the mahalo plenty, mahalo piha for your heart. Okay? And your heart makes up for all the odds.
Okay, thank you.
Don't let anybody tell you different.
Is there any video of that program?
No, I should have asked Queen Emma before she had passed away. I can check with the family members.
Yes.
And hopefully, those days we had videos, but we had a kind, not like today kind. But I will check with them. It's an excellent idea and see, because I'd like to get that. Put it on our level.
Some of the problems may be that the patients would be difficult to find to get their consent or their parents' consent. But if they're if the camera work,
Waimano Home at that time was in full operations. So I don't know, maybe parents or family members would be rejecting, to have something like that shown. Because a lot of these patients were, they weren't the real the ones the extraordinary that really disadvantaged. Of course, they couldn't come out. But everybody else all the dorms was all cleared. Only the violent ones basically had to be stayed in and supervised.
I see.
But nobody was in a dormitory. Everybody was outside.
Enjoying the program.
A stage. And these people walked in so proud that they represented the islands as a prince and princess. Was extraordinary. I will look for it, brother.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Aloha.
I will. And if you would like to call and share an experience, give me a call. Our telephone number here is 524-1080. We'll put you on the radio, see what you have to say. All right, given that, and if until there are more callers on other subjects, I had intended on going into the presidential and the vice presidential debates. Now, I must say that I did not see the original debate of was at Obama and Romney as the debate occurred. Subsequent to that, I had the opportunity to observe the debate and then draw my own conclusions, or having seen those debates or that debate. I have not had the time to actually sit and watch the vice presidential debate. I've come across snippets of portions of the debate, and so I am not a person who have seen the whole thing. Now, if you would like to share your views on the debate, the telephone line is open. The telephone number here is 524-1080, and we'll put you on the radio and see what you have to say about those matters. And then what I will do is also extend the invitation to any politician or any candidate. Sometimes they don't like the term politician because it has a lowered esteem among many people. So let me just say that any candidate for any public office who would like to call and say why they should receive your vote, and I may ask them some questions on their positions and the rest, but you are invited to call. Again, the telephone number is 524-1080. Now, as one looks at whether it's a presidential debate, vice presidential debate, senatorial, congressional debate, whatever it is, even for the mayoral race, it seems that too often these debates are judged on the basis of style rather than issue, on the basis of aggression rather than on reasoning, on the basis of what should I call it, one's personality rather than on the basis of one's belief in direction for leadership. And so who wins, who loses, at what time, over what issues, I'm not as much persuaded by. And oftentimes you can have a candidate who will simply misrepresent what their position is, or who will change his or her position during the period of the debate to somehow become more persuasive or to garner more support, which contradicts a prior opinion or a prior position, leaving the opponent uncertain as to what to say when this person comes in with a changed opinion. And you don't want to give them too much time, because they will try to reason out and they will sort of steal the moment or the time period in which you have given them an opportunity to explain, and they can whizzle and wazzle their way around how they have come to that position, and that their earlier position was not really contradictory to what they are saying, and then they go off and not really answer the question. In my opinion, the answering of questions on the issues themselves, and I think Barack Obama has made it quite clear. Look, you can agree with me or disagree with me. The issues are clear, and so you can choose one side or the other side. But that's what the position is as far as economic approach is. And on the issues themselves, I think, for me, Barack Obama has won the day against Mitt Romney for essentially two reasons. The first is that with regards to what Romney has put on the table, I disagree with his mathematics, I disagree with his, policy position. That's point one. And point two is I am dissatisfied with his lack of specificity with regards to how he intends to carry out one or another program or proposal. So it's easy to take a cheap shot against what now exists by picking on those particular points that you can exemplify or you can elaborate on, and so that's very convenient. But when the other side asks, well, what are your plans? You want to cut taxes? What are the exemptions that you will eliminate? What are the programs that you will increase? You talk about what is that? With the military, reducing the overall budget, but increasing the military in an area that they do not and are not asking for an increase in. And yet you contradict yourself by saying that the U.S. is spending too much money. So on those bases, I would have judged that Barack Obama's position has been far clearer position than the Mitt Romney position, and a position that I would favor, I am more in agreement with. It's the same analysis for the vice presidential debates. Or debate, there has only been one, in that the performance and the approach taken by Joe Biden seems to me to be far more, not what is the appropriate word for it, far more appropriate, I guess, in terms of economics, in terms of asking for specificity, in terms of taking a look at international policies and asking Mr. Ryan, well, what do you propose? What could the U.S. do differently in terms of international affairs? And Ryan not being able to respond with any worthy response. Too often what happens is that in the debates, people are merely judging by the quickness of a response, the styles in which an individual responds, and the rest. And over a period of time, and especially after the debates are over and the fact-checkers begin to dig in and to examine what is going on and the truthfulness or the falsity or the factuality of the representations made, then you begin to go into that discussion, begin to mine that discussion and find whether or not one side was really telling the truth or throwing out a lot of, as Joe Biden would say, malarkey. Okay. So that's the way I've been seeing the debates. If you have a different opinion, would like to share it, give me a call. Telephone number here is 524-1080. We'll put you on the radio, see what you have to say. I am Potpourri, and the time now is 25 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock. As we look at the international arena, the national, the American arena, we can also take a look at what is happening here in Honolulu and in the mayoral contest. There seems to be very little controversy going on in terms of the senatorial contest, although it may be getting closer. I think it's getting closer only in terms of the date, not in terms of the success or failure of one candidate or the other candidate. I think Mazie Hirono is going to take this election. I think her campaigns have been much more effective against what's her name, Linda Lingle. So I think Mazie Hirono's campaign is far more effective, especially as she attempts to tie Linda Lingle to the presidential election and the fact that Hawaii is very strongly in support of Barack Obama. I think that's interesting and good, quote, good tactic for her to use in drawing that notice to the general public. The thing I don't like about all of these campaigns is the repetition, and nothing new comes out except to repeat the old line. I'd like to see more analysis and a lot of details in why one candidate should be supported as opposed to the other. Even in the Linda Lingo campaign, this idea of, well, you know me, and you have people who are of different races and different age, different employment status, announcing what the age is, what the race is, or the employment status is, and they say, I support Linda Lingle, and so should you. Well, it's, what is the word for it? Non sequitur? Where is the connection? Where is the nexus between why you should vote for a candidate and the stuff that you have just expressed about yourself? Is it merely for identification purposes and show that all us old folks should be voting for this candidate or this other candidate, or to merely come out on the television or in other forms and say, I support so-and-so and so should you? Is that adequate as a campaign basis? I know it's been used, and I think overused, and for me, for a candidate to allow that kind of message to be carried as if that is the extent of your intellectuality, that's a slap in the face. So I would not support that kind of direction that the campaigns are being taken. I cannot say that it's only Linda Lingo's promotion of that campaign. I think Maisie Hirono is also engaged in some of that repetitiveness. But in comparison of the two, I would suggest that the Hirono campaign has been carrying out a more effective campaign, media campaign, than Lingo's campaign has. There's one particular announcement that I think Maisie has been very successful in, and that was the use of the senator from Alaska, a Republican senator, who steps up and says, I support Maisie Hirono. So while you have Linda Lingo suggesting that she is a bipartisan candidate and she could work with anyone, including Dan Inouye, and that they're good friends, and she has worked with him well, etc., etc., I don't think that message is carrying, and I think Maisie has trumped that card, especially with the joinder of this senator from Alaska. So that's the way I see things coming down.
Kaulana na pua o Hawaii, Kupa ama hope o ka aina, Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, Pala pala anunu me ka paka. Pane mai Hawaii moku o ke ave, Koku ana honoa o Pilani, Ka ko'o mai ka ua I o mano, Pa'aku me ke oni o ka puhi hewa. Aolea e kau I ka pulima, Maluna o ka pepa o ka enemi, Ho'ohui ai nā ku ai hewa, I ka pono sibila a o ke kana